Hi guys, I'm Rowan from Vanguard, and today I'm here to give you a deck profile on Nubatama. This is the Akatsuki Hanzo build, so let's get straight into it with the grade 3s. So obviously the main card in the deck is Akatsuki Hanzo. Played 4 copies of him. So his skill is, during your main phase, you can retire 2 grade 0 rear guards, give himself plus 20,000, and choose any number of any player's rear guards, and return them to the hand. And then if your opponent's got a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, they have to discard the same amount of cards that were bounced back to their hand. So if you bounce their entire field, so all 5 of their rear guards, they'll have to discard 5 cards. And they don't have to be those rear guards that they've returned to their hand. They can be any of their cards, which is good if you're trying to get rid of their guarding cards and they want to keep, for instance, their Blaster Blade alive for Royal Paladin. The second main grade 3 that we play is Jamio Kongo. We play 4 copies of him as well. He's got one of the shortest skills for a VR grade 3 nowadays. He's when he's placed and at the end of every turn, your opponent has to discard their hand down to 6 cards, unless you've got another grade 3 in Soul. So if you've rode a second time or you've managed to Soul Charge another grade 3, then they have to discard down to 4 cards instead. And that's every time you ride him and at the end of every turn, including your opponent's turn, which is insane, really. So if you basically go from this guy into this guy, while you've already got a grade 3 in Soul on this guy, so you have your field like that, you ride this guy, they've already got 4 cards, you've just bounced their entire field, they've got to discard more cards, they'll have very little choice of what to guard with. So that's 8 of the 10 grade 3s done. So the other grade 3 we play is, I can't pronounce that, Koku Shigarasu. Let's go with that. Right, so he's one of your good kill cards with Jamio Kongo. So he is Act, so during the main phase, he works on Vanguard and Rearguard, so he's best for a Rearguard usually. He will Soul Blast 3 cards, discard 2 Sentinels from your hand, so that's any Perfect Guards or Protect Markers that you happen to have in your hand. You discard 2 of those, and you get to, so long as your opponent's Vanguard is a grade 3 or greater, you get to return all your opponent's rear guards back to their hand. And then, so long as you've returned at least 1 card, they have to choose 5 cards from the hand and discard them. So if you happened to have already, for instance, let's say you had this guy with a grade 3 in Soul, so your opponent's only got 4 cards in their hand. You rode into this guy, so you've returned all their field, but you leave one of their rear guards out, since you can choose as many as you want. So you make sure to leave one out. They've returned all their cards to the hand, they've discarded that many cards, so they've still got 4 cards in their hand. You've called this guy, you'll return that one last rear guard back to their hand, and then they'll have to discard 5 cards. So they'll only have 5 cards in their hand anyway, so they'll have to discard all 5 cards. So that's how you get your opponent down to 0 cards in hand for a pretty much guaranteed kill at that point. Because this guy also gains 15k when you use his skill as well. And then he'll be getting 20k from using his skill. So it's very unlikely they'll be able to guard your attacks. Right, so that's your grade 3s. Where are we? Right. For grade 2s, we play... This guy is the main grade 2 in the deck. He's Evil Stealth Dragon Zangetsu. So he is an Act. So during the main phase, on Vanguard or Rearguard Circle, you can Counterblast 1, call an evil Decoy token to your Rearguard Circle. And that Evil Decoy token gains boost and 5k. So these guys can't usually boost, they can only intercept. But they can intercept from the back row, which is really cool. They can't attack, that's the only downside of this card, but you can use this card as many times as you want in your turn, as long as you can pay the cost. So you call one out, it'll gain 5k, use it again, call another one out, then they'll both gain 5k. So this one will be on 5k, this one will be on 10k, use it again, call another one out, this one will be on 5k, 10k, 15k, and they can all boost. And then obviously you'll be able to retire these because they're grade 0s for your Akatsuki Hanzo skill. So he's your main card in the deck. He also, when he gets attacked, because you want to keep him alive, you can change his attack target to one of your tokens on your rearguard, which is insane because it just cancels out the attack pretty much for just getting rid of a token, which it was basic. It was very uncostly to bring out anyway. The other grade 2s, once I find where I just put those. There. We play Stealth Dragon Megatsu Gale. So he is your best ride, in my opinion. So he's Vanguard and Rearguard Circle. When placed, Count Blast 1, Soul Blast 1, draw a card, and he gains plus 6k until end of turn. So he's like Berserk Dragon in the respect that when you ride him, you get to draw a card for Count Blast 1 and Soul Blast 1, which is pretty good early game when you're trying to get your correct rides and everything. Also, because he does that on Rearguard, you can just keep on doing it throughout the game. If you need to get a card from your soul into discard pile, it's really useful. And then after he attacks, you can put him into soul to return one of your Rearguards to your hand, which really good if you need another card in soul. And if you've got an on-place Rearguard skill, which is this guy coming up next. So this is Momentary Stealth Rogue Tsunamasa. So play 3 copies of him. He is he's pretty insane. Like, a lot of people don't realize how good he actually is because he's just a common and he's got 8k for a grade 2, which most people don't really look at. So he's, when placed, choose any of the units to gain plus 3k, and then if that unit that you chose was a grade 3, you get to soul charge 1. So stuff like this guy, he costs 3 soul blasts, so you need to try and get your soul blasts up as much as possible. And then you're also trying to get grade 3s into soul so you can pull off Jambio Congos, discarding your opponent down to 4 cards every turn to skill. And then also at the end of the battle that he attacked, you can soul blast 1, so take out that card that you just soul charge pretty much to return him back to your hand. So you'll be able to do that every turn. You can also bounce him back from your Megatsu Gale as well, which is obviously really useful. So you can just soul charge another card, give something 3k every single turn pretty much. So you're just constantly gaining those resources. We also play Stealth Dragon Dreadmaster, mainly just because he's a good first ride. So he is Vanguard and Rearguard Circle. When placed, discard a card from your hand, draw a card. And then if your Vanguard is Kujikiri Kongo, which we don't play, you can do some other stuff, which doesn't matter because we don't play that part of the effect. He's literally just there to ride, draw a card, discard a card. Discard a card, then draw a card, because it's got to be in that order. But obviously you'll be getting a draw from your starter as well. So he's good for your first ride. You can do that throughout the game, discard a card and draw a card if you're trying to search for specific cards. We also play 4 copies of Sakura Fubuki. So he is, when placed, if you have 3 or more units, so that includes your Vanguard, so you literally just need to have him, one other Rearguard, and a Vanguard when he's placed. You can discard 1 card from your hand. He gains plus 3k until end of turn. And then if there are 1 or less face-up cards in your damage zone, draw a card and countercharge 1. So he's really good if you've been counterblasting cards away with Zangetsu. He'll get you more resources for Zangetsu, maybe even more resources for Megatsu Gale if you need them. Obviously, the draw effect is also really good. So these guys are both there to, when placed, discard a card, draw a card. So they're just there to search your cards that you need, which is mainly Zangetsu, or the grade 3s that you need to pull off your kill turn. So Zangetsu is your main card to get your evil decoy tokens, but we also play Kurogiri to get evil decoy tokens. So he is Soul Blast 2, return him to your hand, and then call 2 evil decoy tokens. Fairly simple skill. It's strange that you can call him, do that, bounce him back to your hand, and then you've got 2 evil decoy tokens out all of a sudden. It's really strange, but you can just do that, call him again, do it again, so you've just filled up your field with 4 tokens straight away. And then use Zangetsu to give them all 5k boost. He's also good because you can call him, Soul Blast 2, get 2 tokens, and then just immediately retire those tokens for your Akatsuki Hanzo to use his skill. I was originally playing 3 of him, but I felt like I didn't see him enough, so I put in a 4th recently. So the trigger lineup for this deck, I play 5 draw triggers, 7 crit triggers, and 4 heals, obviously. And then you've got your starter guy, who I prefer that one because he looks really cool. I play the triggers like that just because, again, I just want to draw the cards, get what I need as early as possible. I feel like the deck does still need its criticals quite, obviously late game. That's the main thing, really. The draw triggers obviously do help to get everything you need, your grade 3s, your Zangetsu. This deck is mainly a Protect 2 deck. So, obviously, put in your Protect 2 on the rearguard circle. That rearguard will gain plus 10k shield and plus 5k attack. So, obviously, if you're putting it on a rearguard circle, then you're calling an evil decoy token to that circle from Zangetsu. It'll have 10k power to boost with, and then during your opponent's turn, it'll be a 15k interceptor from the back row. Since it's in the back row, it's pretty safe from most skills, like Blaster Blade, etc. But it obviously can be killed, but your opponent's very unlikely to target a token to kill unless they know that you need it to guard with. But it's still good to have extra cards to guard with if you don't have them in your hand. This deck is really good like that. I think it's a very underrated deck. If it's played well, it can do a lot of things and annihilate most decks, to be honest. There are definitely some clans that you will need to play Protect 1 for instead. Mainly some like fast-placed clans or clans that can pop your back rows. So, for instance, Narukami. Narukami wouldn't be awful to play Protect 2 against because you can put your Protect 2 in your back row Vanguard rearguard circle, which always having a rearguard in your back row middle rearguard circle against Narukami is basically how you beat them. So you can just keep on stacking up Protects there and then call one token, and you've got a massive 35k guard interceptor from the back row every turn. I haven't played this deck against a huge variety of clans yet, so I'm not sure exactly which ones you would need Protect 1 and Protect 2 against. But basically, the way I would think of it is if they have a lot of ways to retire your tokens, then I'd probably just go for Protect 1. If not, go for Protect 2. If you need to kill them as fast as possible and you think you can pull off this, if you have the right card in your hand at the right time, and you can choose Protect 1 when you can, then do that. Because obviously you need to discard 2 Sentinels for your Yagarasu guy. Obviously that does include a Perfect Guard. So yeah, that is this deck list done. I hope you all enjoyed. Feel free to give us any constructive criticism or anything you want. And look forward to more videos in the future. Thanks a lot, guys.